Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to do a video talking about ElaZtech, which is a material that was introduced by Z-Man that really is a revolutionary type of soft plastic, and they've got a ton of different baits out there, a lot of different designs. And over the years, especially a decade ago, not a lot of people were incorporating ElaZtech into their fishing arsenal. And so I wanted to kind of go through some of the top reasons why I think you should be throwing ElaZtech baits. So let's start off with the very first reason why you should be fishing ElaZtech baits. All right, so the very first reason I think you should be fishing ElaZtech baits is durability. ElaZtech is just a way more durable material than any of the traditional soft plastic materials out there today. They're just, it says 10 times tough on the bag, and in a lot of situations, it's even tougher than that, and you really don't go through a lot of these baits at all. Traditionally, if I'm fishing a tournament, I want to have at least a dozen packs of a traditional soft plastic that I'm going to be using in a tournament. But with ElaZtech, if I have one pack of ElaZtech baits that I need to use in a tournament, I feel fairly confident that I'll be okay throughout the tournament if I have to. Obviously, I want more packs than just one, just as backups. But in general, man, I have fished tournaments where I didn't figure out what I wanted to throw until the first day of the tournament, and then I end up having one pack and survive the entire tournament. So durability is a huge deal when it comes to ElaZtech, and a big reason why you should be throwing it. You can see here, this is a finesse worm. Very strong. It's real stretchy, but the strength is really what I'm trying to convey to you. I've caught upwards of 100 fish on one ElaZtech bait, whether it's a trailer on a chatterbait like a diesel minnows, or fishing a Ned rig, you can catch a ton of fish. So not only is that going to help you save more money because you're not going through as many baits, but also you're going to be more efficient and be able to catch more fish in a fishing day because you're keeping those baits in front of fish as opposed to being in the bottom of your boat constantly trying to re-rig traditional soft plastic. So durability is the #1 reason why I think you should be fishing ElaZtech. All right, so the next reason you should be throwing ElaZtech is buoyancy. Not only are these really durable, but they're extremely buoyant. Just the nature of ElaZtech means that it's going to be more buoyant than any other plastic out there, and that's really advantageous for a lot of techniques, especially bottom bouncing techniques such as fishing a worm. This right here is the mag fatties. This is one of my favorite worms. I've made a lot of money off of it, and one of the things that this bait does, along with all the other ElaZtech baits like it, is that it just naturally is always going to float off the bottom. So it's always just going to be naturally buoyant. It's always going to stick off the bottom, create a lot of action instead of just falling to the bottom on its side and just laying there like most soft plastics do. There's soft plastics out there that people have added like little air chambers, or have added some sort of material that's a little bit more buoyant just to achieve that, but nothing does it like ElaZtech. It's just going to do that 100%. Now, it is important to note that there are some bait designs, especially if you're fishing like a stick bait like the Z-Man Zinkers, it's still made of ElaZtech, but because the Zinkers design, that stick bait design, you don't want it to float necessarily. You want it to have a nice falling shimmy to it if you're rigging it wacky rigged or weedless Texas rig. They still manipulate how much these baits can float or not float at all based on the salt content. So something like a Zinkers, they don't want that bait to float, they want it to sink, so they add more salt to it. So most of the bait designs like the mag fatties here, and a lot of the other worm designs that you're going to be fishing with a weight or on some type of shaky head type design, those are going to have a lot of buoyancy. They're going to allow this bait to stick straight up in the water column and have a lot of action even when it's standing still, which is something that traditional plastics just can't do like ElaZtech does. So that is the #2 reason why you should be throwing ElaZtech baits. All right, so the third reason you should be fishing ElaZtech is just the overall softness of this material, okay? It's not only durable, it's not only buoyant, but it's also extremely soft and supple, which means it has a lot more action than a traditional soft plastic bait. It just creates a really realistic, lifelike action, especially when you're talking about something like this right here. This is the 5-inch minnows, and this bait, obviously being a boot style swim bait, needs to have a softer material to be able to create that lifelike action. And ElaZtech, being as soft as it is, creates that action really well. So it works excellent with you know, things like these swim baits, whether fished alone or as a trailer on a chatterbait or a swim jig. You know, it's pretty crazy to have a material that has the combination of durability and also softness that you see in the ElaZtech lineup. And again, swim baits, this is really important, but also, you know, just finesse worms, you know, any type of worm where you're trying to get a lot of action out of it, maybe you're drop shotting, something like that. You want that bait to have a lot of inherent action, so you don't have to you know, move it that much. You don't want to have to overwork it. You want it to have a lot of natural action to it. So matched with the buoyancy, the softness of ElaZtech is a really, really big deal when it comes to overall attraction. All right, so even though I said that there was only 3 reasons why you should be throwing ElaZtech, I'm gonna throw in a couple others as well. First off, this is made in the US. I don't know of a lot of traditional plastics that are made in the US, and I don't know of any super plastics that are made in the US, but ElaZtech is. I've even gone to the factory in Charleston, South Carolina. I've seen the people, American citizens, working in their factory creating these great bait designs. So this is something, especially nowadays, it's so important to buy from companies that are making things in the United States, and ElaZtech is made right here in the US of A, and so that to me is a big, big deal. And then finally, when it comes to the safeness for the environment, ElaZtech has a leg up on everybody else too. So I'm gonna read what it says on the back of the package here. It says ElaZtech is non-toxic and contains no PVC, plastisol, or phthalates. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about this video. If you haven't tried ElaZtech baits, please check them out, and make sure if you want to buy them, go to 44tackle.com, check them out, and I'm going to have a link in the bio to some of my favorite ElaZtech baits at 44tackle, and so check them out through that link and you get 10% off your order. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. I'll see you out on the water.